in this lesson, we'll create our first Rust project, which we'll call Hello World. A Rust project will be a regular directory on your computer that's going to hold the source code, the developer code that makes up the project. Now, when we installed Rust a few lessons ago, the installation also included a tool called Cargo. Cargo is a command line tool that helps manage Rust projects. For example, it has commands to create projects, to compile the executable program from the source code, to format the code, and more. Cargo is the recommended way to create a new Rust project because it gives us a nice starter template and enforces consistency across projects. Later on, you'll download the course materials, which will consist of many Cargo projects, but for now, we can create one from scratch. So in your directory of choice, it can be anywhere, we're going to execute cargo space new to create a new Rust project. Afterwards, after another space, we're going to add our project name, which will be hello_world. Cargo project names can vary slightly in how they are written, but one common formatting option is called snake case formatting, where every text character is written in lowercase and every two words are separated with an underscore. So what we see here on the screen is an example of snake case formatting. The words are in lowercase and I'm separating every two words with an underscore. You also cannot have spaces in the project name. It must be one consecutive piece of text. All right. So I'm going to execute this command by pressing enter, and Cargo is going to create some starter files and folders. You can feel free to delete this project, by the way, at the end of this section. Rust projects are also called packages as well as crates. You'll soon learn that in programming, there's often a lot of similar terms for the same idea. So project, package, crate, you're going to hear those terms used often interchangeably. You'll notice that the output says created binary application package. There's actually two types of Rust packages or Rust crates, and they are binary crates and library crates. A binary crate is a standalone Rust application whose purpose is to be run by itself in isolation. In comparison, a library crate is one that exists to be used in other projects. It's not standalone, it's meant to be incorporated into another Rust project. So to give you a real-world analogy, think of a binary crate like a car. It's a fully functional piece of machinery that you're able to use automatically. In comparison, a library crate is more like a tire or an engine. Its value lies in being applied in other places. An engine could go into a car or a bus or a lawnmower, but its purpose is to be used elsewhere, right? That's the purpose of a library crate, to be incorporated into some other binary crate. So by default, the cargo new command creates a binary crate, its own independent application. So this Hello World project is intended to be a standalone program, and that is exactly what we're going to want for most of the course. So with that, I'm going to use my cd command to navigate into my Hello World directory, and then I'll execute code, followed by a space and a dot. This is going to open VS Code in the current directory. The code command means open VS Code from terminal, and the dot means open the current folder. So execute that command, and I'm going to bring over VS Code from my other screen. So let's talk about the files and folders that were created by Cargo. The source directory right here is where our Rust code will live. Source refers to the source code of the program, the actual developer code. And the word source, S-O-U-R-C-E, is frequently abbreviated as SRC just for brevity. So right now, the SRC directory contains a single main.rs file. All Rust files end in the extension .rs. And here we can see some sample Rust code. We're going to come back to this in the next lesson, but we're going to be writing all of our actual developer code in these .rs files within the source directory. The target directory is where the compiler will place the executable that it builds from our source code. The executable is the resulting program that comes from this code. It's the program that we're actually going to run on the computer as the final product. This is just for the benefit of developers. Target is going to have the final executable program. Next up, we have a git ignore file. This is strictly for the benefit of the Git version control system. It tells Git which files and folders to ignore. In other words, to avoid adding to your source control. We're not going to be using Git extensively, so we don't have to worry too much about this git ignore file. This Cargo.toml file includes information and metadata about the project. In case you're curious, TOML stands for Tom's Obvious Markup Language, and it's a plain text file where we define keys and values, which you can think of as definitions for now. For example, this TOML file configures a project name of Hello World and an arbitrary version number of 0.1.0. So the Cargo.toml file just stores information about the Rust project that we can customize and update over time. The Rust Analyzer VS Code extension that we installed is going to use the presence of a Cargo.toml file to understand that the project is a Rust project. So it also helps establish the connection with that VS Code extension. Finally, we have this cargo.lock file. This is automatically generated by Cargo whenever we compile our source code, whenever we build the final executable. You should always include the cargo.lock file in your Git source control, but you should never actually modify it yourself. It's going to be updated automatically by Cargo. It exists primarily to keep track of your project dependencies. For example, when your project incorporates some library crates, some other code built by other developers, the Cargo lock file will keep track of those crates as well as their versions. So that's a quick introduction to the initial contents that Cargo New will create for us. You don't have to memorize all these files and folders just yet. Remember, the most important takeaway is that the developer code is going to live within the source directory, and that's where we're going to write our first piece of Rust code.
For watching the video till the end, please leave your thoughts below so we can discuss more about the topic. If you'd like to suggest a video that could help the community, feel free to message me on X or Instagram. We also share short videos on Instagram, so make sure to follow us there. Feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear from you, and might even create a video based on your suggestion. Thanks again for being part of our community. See you in the next video.